The court appearance involving accused killer Luka Magnotta just wrapped up in Montreal. Lawyers from both sides gathered to go over details of Magnotta's preliminary hearing, and the accused killer was indeed present, as was our senior QMI correspondent Brian Daly. He's live with us now on the line, and you were in that courthouse. So most importantly, right off the bat, I have to ask you what everyone's wondering is, how did Luka Magnotta look?
Yeah, he had no expression whatsoever, barely moved during the 30-minute hearing. At the Montreal courthouse in a secure courtroom. He was in the glass enclosed prisoner's box, a high security courtroom outfitted initially for biker trials. He was wearing a all blue sweater with horizontal red and white stripes, as well as blue jeans. He was handcuffed. His hair was brown. Like I say, no expression whatsoever. All of the action was in the courtroom itself, where Crown Prosecutor Louis Boutillier, in English, by the way, because Mr. Magnotta is from the Toronto area, Crown Lawyer Boutillier outlined some of the witnesses he planned to call. He says he may have to call more than the initial plan of 15 witnesses, an indication of the complexity of this body parts case. 4 of the witnesses would be doctors of some sort, a pathologist, a forensic biologist, a forensic psychologist, and dental expert, and that indicates that the Crown's going to have to prove that the body parts that were mailed to political parties and as well as to 2 Vancouver schools were in fact that of Jun Lin. It's such a gory case.
Brian, would you know whether Jun Lin's family was present? I mean, I know many of them live overseas, so perhaps friends then.
No, we didn't see those individuals here, but the Lin family was planning to stay in Montreal for these several months since the funeral of Mr. Lin, which was held last summer. The plan was for them to remain in Montreal. They had been under the care of people at Concordia, which is where Mr. Lin studied computer science, as well as people at the Chinese embassy. But we did not see the Lin family. They had at previous court appearances, they had been in a side room well away from us.
So it was an expressionless statue like Magnotta that you described, Brian, that was there. Did you see him corresponding at all, communicating at all with his lawyer?
No, his lawyer is the one who did all the talking. So we're talking about potentially a trial as early as May. We had some indication, by the way, that it might not be till the fall. But if the preliminary hearing that starts on March 11th gets over with in a prompt fashion, we could be talking about a trial in May, and it would be a complete circus. There are going to be dozens of foreign reporters coming because of the international nature of this trial, and there will even be witnesses, if the Crown gets its way, witnesses from as far away as Europe, because Mr. Magnotta fled to Paris and then Berlin. So we could be talking about having police officers from Germany and France testifying, as well as a number of forensic experts. And then there's, of course, the infamous gore clip, the snuff clip, because it appears as though the murder was captured on tape, and that would be obviously something the Crown would want to show. It would be the smoking gun in this case.
One last thing. Are you able to remind us about where Magnotta is staying in Montreal during this whole time?
Yep, he's at the Rivière des Prairies Detention Center in the East End in a special high-security wing. There are only 2 prisoners at any time in that wing. They don't interact with each other, and they're unable to interact with the other prisoners. He's been held there since he was arrested in early June, so it's 8 months now that he's been there. And I should add that his Toronto lawyer, who's representing him here in Montreal, Luka Magnotta, expressed some concerns about how long this whole process is taking and how long it would take if the preliminary hearing dragged past mid-March and into it would only resume in June, which would mean that the trial would only start in September. So he raised some concerns about Mr. Magnotta having to stay in solitary confinement for such a long period of time.
All right, Brian Daly live in Montreal for us. Appreciate that update, Brian.